Good evening, and welcome to tonight's USBL primetime action between the Boston Quakers and the Cleveland Rockers. It should be a great AL East classic here, as we're going to see two teams in different directions right now. So it's going to be a good one. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe if you have to be brand new as well, as we go ahead and see who the Cleveland Rockers are going to be bringing out onto the mound today. We got Levi Kelly. In 4 starts so far, hasn't been too shabby. 1-for-1, or 1-1, with a 3.43 ERA. As we'll go ahead and officially kick things off here with the free agent acquisition, Jonathan Falar, who looks like he gets his bat jammed a little bit here. He's going to end up flying out, kind of a little bit of a dud there to start this game. He flies out to Nelson Cruz, who is starting out in right field. As we take a look at the batting order for the Boston Quakers, who have a .411 slugging percentage. It is in the top half of the American League here, and that was a problem that they had in Season 1. But Mike Tauschman, no, he's gonna change that. What a guy to come out here and change this holster that they had here. He gets his 5th home run of the season. And Boston right away getting that 1-0 lead to start things out, as Mookie Betts, he will come up to the plate, but will end up grounding out to the shortstop. So we will end up with 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Marcus Semien got the ground down. He was the one who threw Mookie Betts out. Mac Muncy, though, he's not going to get grounded out. He's also going to go ahead and go deep as well. He's going to hit himself a solo shot, the second one of this game already, as Max Muncy does hit his 10th home run of the season. But Paul DeJong, he's going to end the inning for the Boston Quakers. So first inning, Levi Kelly does allow a grand total of 2 hits, but both of them were home runs. As we now jump into the bottom of the first inning, Brandon Liddell starting for the Boston Quakers. He's making his 5th start this season as well. A little bit higher of an ERA, a 5.4 coming into today's matchup, as we start with Joey Wendell, who's batting close to 300, and gonna see that batting average fall a little bit there, as Joey Wendell will end up grounding out to the second baseman. As we will go ahead and see the starting lineup for the Cleveland Rockers as well. Chris Owings, he's a USBL rookie. He is making his first season. Spent last year in the minors. And speaking of that rookie, here comes Chris Owings. Still off to a nice little start here, and hits his ball out into left field, but it is going to end up being one of those flyouts out there in left field. So right now, quiet inning for the Cleveland Rockers. We'll see if Ryan Mountcastle can change that here, as this is down into right field. This could actually carry out of the ballpark, and it's gone! Home run for Ryan Mountcastle, and only his 3rd home run of this entire season. Nelson Cruz batting .303. Although, how about that? Nice little reaction time, as Nelson Cruz will be robbed of a hit, but Cleveland does end up responding. They do end up getting a run back on the board, as the Boston Quakers are back up to bat. Edwin Rios at the plate. He's been batting pretty well as of late, 6 for 16, so he's getting that batting average off of the interstate. We'll see if he can still go ahead and continue that, and oh, he's certainly going to continue that. That's for damn sure, as he's going to take this all the way out of the ballpark. Edwin Rios continues his hot streak, only his 3rd home run of the season. As now, Colin Moran looking to also get himself off of the interstate. He's batting .195 so far, and I did not realize that this is going to be a Drake song, because we are going back to back, as we do end up seeing Colin Moran also hitting himself a home run, his 5th of the season. And that brings up Jake Marinowski. He was acquired from the New York Knights in that trade that did end up dealing Nick Anderson. As we do check out the lineup, at least the defensive linemen for the Cleveland Rockers, they have struggled on the defensive end, that's for sure. They are one of the worst defensive teams in the American League, and that could partially explain why they certainly have struggled so much. As why'd you even dive there, my guy? You don't even need to do that. That was Chris Owings that tried to dive in front of that ball, and instead of it being a single or maybe even a double, worst case scenario, it ends up being a triple for Donnie Bell. So Jonathan Falar, he's back at the plate, and he has a runner in third base. And wow, that was a nice snag there by Joey Wendell. That certainly saved a run for them. Is Mike Tauschman, he's 1 for 1 on the day. He's got that solo home run back in the first inning. He's going to try to go ahead and bring Donnie Bell home, but it looks like it's going to be caught in the outfield, and that will end up being the third out. But both teams off to a pretty good start, though, when it comes to batting around. The offenses are going pretty well. It's just who's going to actually start playing defense first? That's what I'm really curious to know. As Ken Grubb, he's going to ground out weakly to the second baseman as we check out the defensive lineman for them. And despite the fact that Boston has 4 Gold Glove guys from last season, they are the second worst defensive team in the American League right now. I don't know how you managed to do that, but here we are. As Aquidis, he's going to go ahead and hit a single out into center field. Jake Baranowski, he's going to go ahead, throw in the ball, and make sure that it stays a single. But we will see, though, if the Cleveland Rockers, if they can respond as well. As Marcus Semien, he hits it down, and no one's going to even move. And that's when you know that's a no-doubter. Actually, didn't seem as far as I thought it was going to be. At least it didn't look like it, but it says it was a 457-foot home run, so I'm not going to question it. That's 450-plus feet more than I can hit, that's for sure. As we do end up seeing walks, we already see our first mound visit of the day here in the bottom of the second inning. I mean, both starting pitchers have certainly struggled in this one, that's for sure. But thankfully for the Quakers, they do have the bottom of their order, but you walk Christian Vazquez as well. So 2 walks back to back. That is not a good look for Brandon Liddell, as that brings up Joey Wendell, who is still hovering around 300. That's deep into right field, and that should bring in at least 1 run. Could very well bring in 2. It does, and Joey Wendell ends up getting himself a triple in this ball game. His first triple of the season. And the Cleveland Rockers, they end up taking a 5-4 lead here, only in this second inning. Although Chris Owings, he'll do his job as well. He's going to make it 6-4 despite flying out into right field. So Chris Owings won't be awarded a hit, but he will be given at least an RBI. So now, 6-4 game, Ryan Mountcastle, he already has 1 home run of the day. Let's go ahead and make it 2 home runs for the day, as Ryan Mountcastle literally doubles his home run count. He only had 2 home runs coming into this game, and now he has 2 home runs in his last 2 at-bats, and that's going to actually end it for Brandon Liddell. He doesn't even make it 2 innings. And so they're going to bring in Keenan Akin. He's going to go and make his 12th appearance of the season. 4.28 ERA is what he's working with. Not too shabby for a reliever. And is coming in now, making sure that no more damage ends up being done here in the process, as Nelson Cruz is up at the plate. And this time it's a no-doubter. He will end up grounding out to the second baseman. But Cleveland gets a ton of runs on the board to respond with the Boston Quakers. They have the same number of hits, but the Cleveland Rockers do have a 3-run lead, as we will go ahead and jump forward to the top of the 4th inning. And Levi Kelly of the Cleveland Rockers is still in the game as of right now, but I mean, he's still riding that struggle bus. He almost gives up a home run right there. If that was for the fact that Chris Owings did not do a really good job of getting that ball in, that could have certainly been a triple. That's the crazy part. But still, Donnie Bell, he's got runners in scoring position here. He's got a triple back in the second inning, and that's almost out of the ballpark. Actually, they are going to count as a home run. So the second home run for Donnie Bell of the season. Boston is going to pull within 1 run. And so Levi Kelly's day is going to be done as well. He does not survive 4 innings. I guess he did a little bit better than Brandon Liddell. But Christian Javier is going to come in. His 9th appearance of the season. 0-1 with a 5.68 ERA. Definitely struggles a little bit with his control. Has almost as many walks as he does strikeouts. That's a little bit of a down bad thing for a pitcher. But right now, Christian Javier off to a pretty nice start. Getting some help from the defense as Ken Grubb stretches way out there to make that out. But yeah, man, Levi Kelly definitely struggled in this ball game. 3 innings pitched, but allowed 8 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and only 1 strikeout to show for it as well. Hopefully they can get a little bit more production out of Christian Javier. But this game is going to end up being tied up here. So we're not even 4 innings in, and this game is all knotted up at 7 apiece. We got ourselves the greatest game as the Urinating Tree. A game that Urinating Tree would be proud of. That's for sure. And hopefully those fireworks keep continuing. We could be very well on track for a record in the course of USBL history in its 2nd season. And it's going to keep going too. Max Muncy, he hits himself another home run, his 11th of the season. And the Boston Quakers will get themselves back ahead. They now have an 8-7 lead, and they're not even done hitting. Christian Javier, you would think, maybe would do a little bit better, but that just hasn't happened yet, you know. We still see the runs pouring in from both sides as Edwin Rios, he wants to get in on the action as well, and he's going to hit a home run. This time, it's a 2-run shot, and Edwin Rios hits his 4th homer of the season, and they got to go to the bullpen again. This time, Michael Givens comes in and a little bit better. His 11th appearance of the season, 1-0, 2-1 ERA. Does a lot better of controlling his pitches as well. And his first batter is going to be Colin Moran. But with 2 outs, 1-2 count to work with. And Colin Moran might have almost gotten himself, through that gap between the shortstop and the left fielder, but just stays in the air a little bit too long. It ends the top of the 4th inning for Boston. But they get a nice 3-run lead to work with, a 10-7 game, as Cleveland still has to go deeper into their bullpen. Now Chris Davinsky is coming in here as we check out some action in the top of the 6th inning now. As Mike Tauschman, he's at the plate, 2 for 3 so far. He's been hitting some dingers all day, but he can also go ahead and hit for contact as well. He's going to hit a single out into left field. It is brought in quickly, but it seems like Mike Tauschman, he's working on the cycle. He only needs a double and a triple now. We'll see if Mookie Betts can move it along, though. And that pitch was extremely close, but they're going to end up calling it a ball. So Mookie Betts walks to first. They got Mike Tauschman as well at second. So Max Muncy, who already has 2 home runs in this game, he's got runners in scoring position and going to take full advantage as well. Not a home run necessarily, but it will, or at least it should bring in at least 1 run. Could bring in 2, and it does. So both Mookie Betts and Mike Tauschman get home, and Boston, they go ahead and add a couple more runs on the board. It makes it a 12-7 affair. It's now Paul DeJong, 1 for 2 on the day. He's going to take a nice swing at it, but it looks like he just barely misses. And Chris Owings is going to record a first out, but they're going to go for third base, though! And somehow, Max Muncy ends up in there. That was extremely close. But now another runner within 90 feet, or Edward Rios can just go ahead, hit another home run. A nice and easy trot for both him and Max Muncy. The 5th home run of the season for him is now Robert Stark comes in now, his 9th appearance of the season. We're getting to see a lot of the bullpen arms for the Cleveland Rockers in this one. It's been a crazy day for Boston, as they now have a 14-7 lead right now. That they have been balling out in this one, that's for sure. As now Jake Marinowski, He's at the plate, 1 for 3 so far on the day. But it is a 2-2 count, though. Robert Stock with the delivery, and that will also drop in for a single. So, got runners on first and second base. This game could very well get out of hand. As Robert Stock, he's just trying to get himself out of trouble. That will help a little bit. Donnie Bell going to end up flying out to Chris Owings. It keeps runners at first and second as well. No one is going to be able to advance. As Jonathan Falar, who has really struggled on the day, by the way. He's 0 for 4. Make that 0 for 5. As he grounds out to the second baseman. And this inning finally comes to an end. But another 4 runs for the Boston Quakers, allow them to take a 14-7 lead. As now we do go ahead and see what kind of response Cleveland can get. They really need to get some runs on the board. And it's not even that their offense has been terrible. They have been doing a really good job here. And this game is also important for the sake of the AL East standings. If Boston wins, they will tie up with the New York Knights here at the top. Meanwhile, Cleveland, who is the defending AL East champions, they're just trying to stay in this race. I know there's plenty of baseball left to be played. I mean, we're only through not even the first quarter of the season yet. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want to dig yourself in too big of a hole, because the margin for error for these teams is pretty small, just because teams are relatively even. It really does feel like anybody can beat anybody on any given day. So it was really surprising in season 1 to see Chicago with 100+ wins, or the Nashville Blues with close to 100+ losses, as we do end up seeing yet another home run. Looks like this one going to go to Christian Vasquez, his 4th home run of the season. So Cleveland, like they should have, they got a couple more runs on the board, but it looks like that will be about it. As look at that nice grab by Jake Marinowski, robbing a hit from Joey Wendell, but it's still a 5-run game. Cleveland, they got a lot of work that needs to be done. They have a ton of ground that really needs to be made up right now. As we go ahead, jump into the bottom of the 7th inning, Dylan Foro, he's going to come into the game now to try to make sure gets a clean inning, and off to a nice little start. Jake Marinowski's going to make the catch out in center field. So the first out is clean for Dylan Foro. Let's see how he does against Ryan Mountcastle, though. He's 2 for 3 on the day. And Ryan Mountcastle, he's not going to go deep necessarily. He's going to fall just a little bit short. Mookie Betts makes the catch out there in right field. But Nelson Cruz, despite his advanced age, he's 40 years old, you guys. He is the oldest player in the USBL. When he's at the plate, he doesn't look like it. Another dinger for a future Hall of Famer, that's for sure. But Nelson Cruz has not really hit that many dingers. It's only his 2nd home run of the season. And that will be the only run that the Cleveland Rockers do end up getting as well. It does end up becoming a 4-run game. But it does end up seeming like the Cleveland Rockers are starting to make a little bit of a rally here. They were down by 7, now only down by 4. Boston couldn't get any runs in the top of the 8th inning. And they will call on Jesse Biddle now to make sure that this game stays a 4-run game. But he has been atrocious this season. An ERA over 8. Think about it like this. Basically, dude has given up a run every inning that he's pitched in. That's how bad he's been. 8 runs per 9 innings, That's how the ERA is kind of calculated. But right now, not too bad. Gets Quintius to ground out. We'll see if he can get the same result for Marcus Semien, as he will certainly get a much different result, man. Marcus Semien, he's going to end up going deep, and it's going to be gone like a girl in a country song. And it's now just a 3-run game. So here comes the Cleveland Rockers, man. But you do see Jesse Biddle calm himself down just a little bit. Gets a strikeout there. We'll see if he can get it as well from Christian Vasquez. 2 for 2 on the day, but ends up walking him. Jesse Biddle struggles. Just continue. You're trying to build confidence for your bullpen, but it's not necessarily working right now. And now Joey Wendell really has a chance to really help Cleveland get themselves back into this game, but he strikes out swinging, though, going after a pitch that he honestly shouldn't have gone after. But Cleveland's rallying back, only a 3-run game, and we go ahead, jump into this 9th inning now, and we'll see if it stays a 3-run game as Wander Sierro comes in. Haven't really seen much of him this year. Only his 3rd appearance this entire year. We are going to find out real quick what this guy is made of. As Falar, who's been 0 for 5. He has been having a really rough day the entire time at the plate. He finally gets his very first hit of the game. He's going to finish 1 for 6 most likely. And in a game, too, where this is the most scoring that we have seen in a USBL game. It's certainly up there. It's certainly a greatest game classic. And we're going to end up seeing yet another run scoring as well. Jonathan Falar is going to end up coming home. So they do. Mike Tauschman, he adds on to the lead. And it's back up to a 4-run game as Mookie Betts looks to do the same thing. He ends up walking, though. So now more runners on scoring positions in advance of Max Muncy, who's 3 for 4 on the day so far. He's going to end up striking out, though. First out of Wander Sierro's appearance. But to be honest, I haven't been that impressed. That's probably why he only has a few appearances throughout the course of the season. But Paul DeJong, he's going to end up striking out as well. That makes it 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Edwin Rios, we'll see if he can go ahead and maybe add on to this deficit as well. And that does not get through, though. What a throw, by the way, by Joey Wendell. That is not an easy throw to make, especially when you're spinning in that way or in that fashion. But that insurance run and, of course, the other runs that Boston scored, that's all they were going to need. Boston will end up pulling it out. They win this one by a final score of 15-11. What a greatest game special. I'm sure it would be worthy of urinating tree. Let's check out the stats for both teams. 26 runs, 29 hits between the two. And looks like the player of the game is going to be Edwin Rios. 3 for 6, 3 homers, and 5. He had 3 home runs in this game. That is insane. Keenan Akin gets the win, and Christian Javier will be charged with the loss. So, guys, that is going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's USBL primetime action. I hope you enjoyed that game action between the Boston Quakers and the Cleveland Rockers. Now, we are in early May, so we are just about a month out from the USBL Amateur Draft here in year number 2, so it's getting close to that time for custom prospects. Now, I will have certain timelines for when certain folks could get in, but if you are a channel member, for those of you that don't know, this is not my main channel. This is actually my secondary channel where I post my baseball content. If you become a channel member for my main channel, you are able to get your custom prospects in right now, and the benefit of that is it's first come, first serve. So if you drop a starting pitcher, for example, that starting pitcher will be the first starting pitcher that is selected in the USBL draft, for example. So you get a higher pick, and that basically makes it more likely that you're a blue chip prospect, and that just makes it easier. And the sooner you see your custom prospect make it into the actual USBL, they don't have to wait as long in the minor league. So if that's something that interests you, make sure you go ahead and check out my main channel. That will be linked in the description, as well as my channel page here for the baseball channel. And yeah, give me a look, and if you like what you see in terms of channel benefits, you know, become a channel member. All proceeds do help with the channel itself, the baseball and the main channel. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed tonight's content. If you did, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe as well if you have to be brand new. This is JohnJake Baseball on the mic, signing off. I'm hoping you're all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.